Hi everyone, thanks for tuning into Bluegrass Home Garden TV. I'm already giggling a little bit because of this one right here. Dwayne with House by JSD. How are you?
We want to talk about the evolution of the Amber Canoy hair. That's what we're talking about today, right? Not going to do it. Her microphone was tore up, and I was like, well, I think my hair messing it up. So we figured, Dean back there figured it out. It was the hair messing the microphone up, right? No?
I think you just totally made that connection all your own.
Well, anyway. Well,
you know, everybody at home is like, what in the world did we just walk into?
I don't really care at this point in life, right? I just don't care.
Right, what are we doing today, Dwayne?
Well, we're going to talk about making a flower arrangement that's for fall, but it isn't so typical. You know, I have got greens and whites, and I love those. That's good. So I always think outside the box, and I love fresh apple green kind of colors. So I want to make a fall arrangement that is really for somebody their house is a little more neutral once it's all said and done. And I have this orange phobia in a way. I mean, I don't hate it, but I grew up in a house that had orange. You know, I'm a product of the 70s, and orange flocked carpet, or sculptured carpet. Remember that had like little circles, and the orange flocked wallpaper, and orange and orange and orange. So sometimes I have a hard time with orange, right? We haven't come. Well. And it's pretty, right? But you know, sometimes I go, oh, I like. Anyway, so that's my.
He's helping us understand the psychology.
Right, I'm trying to. Right, this is therapy also. So I love.
Well, don't chip it while you're here.
Well, it's hard as my head. I love that container. Isn't that beautiful? And that crackle on there. So this is one of those things. I almost feel like it's an investment piece in that I see this as you can put this arrangement in it, but also pull it back out because this can go on a coffee table or a foyer piece or a smaller dining room table, and you can put every season in it that you want to and change it up because I just think that's a beautiful, beautiful bowl.
That is a beautiful bowl.
So start with a pretty container today, right? You don't always have to be. They can be an inexpensive one, but today we get to start with something that I think is really.
Got some weight to it. So
that's right. It ain't going to chip when you say that. It's like,
all right, we'll take a short break and be back and let you get started.
Okay.
Hi, Richard Weber here at Springhouse Gardens. Late summer and early fall is a great time to think about planting one of these really interesting, very easy, hardy hibiscus. This is actually a perennial that comes back from the ground every year, but it looks like it's a big shrub. If you plant it in the right place, it will come back for years and years and years and reward you with these gigantic colorful flowers and really nice, interesting foliage. There have been a lot of these that have been around and available since gardeners have been gardening. Some of them are derived, or actually I think most of them are derived from our native species, which actually is found in swamps and low-lying kind of wet areas. So these have a lot of those characteristics. They really like a moist soil, but most of these newer hybrids need well-drained, moist soil. So there's a lot of different growers and hybridizers of these, but one of the most popular lines are these proven winter hardy hibiscus. And they have all kinds of fun names like berry-rific and cherry cocoa latte and summerific evening rose like this one here. So there's a lot of great ones that you can pick. They almost all grow up to about 4 feet. They all love full sun. They need good rich soil, and they'll be full of blossoms from probably about the end of July all the way up through about the middle to the end of September. So these are just getting ready to bursting into blooms. On some of these you can see where the buds are all coming up. Typically when the flowers finish blooming, they will fall off or you can pick them off, but typically they're very, very low maintenance. One of the other things that you might have to do besides water these frequently during the hot, drier periods, you do have a tendency to get some Japanese beetle damage on these. So it's nothing to really worry about, and by mid-August, the Japanese beetles have kind of moved on. So there might be a few little lacy type foliage and eaten flowers, but you can pick those off and they're going to continue to produce more flowers for the rest of the summer and into the fall. So if you've never tried these before, they are very tropical looking, and despite their tropical and frilly appearance, they're very, very hardy. You do have to cut them completely back to the ground, and they're late to emerge in the spring, so you might not even think that they're alive until about the very middle to the end of May, even the 1st of June. So don't give up on them. Get them in the ground. Enjoy them this summer and fall, and then be ready to enjoy them a whole lot more next summer. So if you have any more questions about these, we have a lot to choose from out here at Springhouse Gardens. We're at 185 West Catnip Hill Road in Nicholasville, just 4 miles south of Man o' War Boulevard. You can like us on Facebook and Instagram. And until next time, Richard Weber signing off here at Springhouse Gardens.
At home or on the go, stay informed with the WKYT News app. A must-have with push alerts for breaking news and weather. Plus, watch WKYT News live wherever you are. Download the WKYT News app today. We've all seen it. A social media post or video where your first thought is that true? Unfortunately, misinformation comes in many forms, but there are tools to help you spot those red flags. That's why WKYT and our corporate company, Gray Television Group, are teaming up with MediaWise, a literary initiative for the nonprofit Pointer Institute. Learn how to navigate through the social media noise and identify factual information. Scan the QR code now to find out more and sign up for daily text messages to become MediaWise.
Breaking weather and traffic doesn't have to take you by surprise.
With First Alert weather alerts and traffic alerts in the morning, we'll get you where you need to go on time.
When you watch WKYT News in the mornings, you know first. We keep this from happening to you.
WKYT, the station to watch the most weather and traffic updates all morning long.
We are back. What?
You know what this is?
Foam.
Foam. You know what I did?
Shoved it and
Well, I kind of did, right?
You cut it and then you shoved it in there.
There you go, and I cut it. Since it's kind of like living at home and it's worked, I had a good knife that cuts this really, and it disappeared, and somebody took this like cake knife that doesn't, and they got glue all over it, so I'm trying to saw through this. So basically take a knife and cut it, and I shoved it in there, and she ain't coming out. And then I took my Spanish moss and covered it up, and we're ready to roll, right?
Yes.
So we've got our basics, because a lot of people will ask, well, how do you shove the flowers in there? Well, you got to have
You gotta have a foam base.
a foam
yeah.
base once it's said and done. There's other ways to do it, but we are not talking about that today.
Okay.
Will you share that with me?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you want to start with? Say
The
it.
magnolia.
Magnolia. Got to start with magnolia. Yeah.
Magnolia.
So let's start with our beautiful magnolia. You fluff him up,
Okay.
and this magnolia has a kind of a little plastic spine in it, and so if you'll kind of shape him, it really does give it some personality, because these come out of the box this way, you know, for packaging
All
purposes, all flat. And we're going to aquanet it up here, and we're going to fluff her up. And look at that, really does. Isn't that beautiful? We've been selling these for about 2,000 years at this point, and I'm never tired of them.
Since Jesus.
Since Jesus. I never get tired of it because it fixes everything. So I took my handy dandy wire cutters, right? And these are some heavy duty
Oh,
ones,
yeah.
right? And those probably came from Lowe's or wherever, just any box store. And I cut a longer part of it off so I can shove them down here. And basically, we're going to get this kind of tight down in there. And if you want me to do it, shove him. Okay. And let's give you one more. We're going to do 3.
All right.
Power of odd numbers sometimes is a good thing. So far we got 2, and we got this little hole, and we'll fill that up. And that gives our greenery base to everything. And as you're doing that one, we've got a new kind of magnolia that came in the same collection. It's the same pretty leaf, but it's got a little woody stem to
Okay.
it. And I'm going to put these in here and let them kind of hang out and give it some length to it, so it looks like it's kind of growing out. The loosest idea is you just went and cut it from a magnolia tree, right? And you've got these kind of loose stems hanging out. So, and you look good.
All right.
Fluff me another one up. We'll have one coming out one side and one coming out the other side.
All right, well, we'll work on this.
Okay.
Take a short break and be right back.
Hey, I'm Brittany with Comfort Master Heating and Air, and I would like to share with you some tips on how to stay warm and safe this winter. Today I would like to talk about how you should check your smoke detectors and also carbon monoxide detectors. They are very important to keep your family safe, especially if you have gas appliances in your house. All right, firstly, get on a safe ladder. There's a test button that you can hit, and it lets you know if your smoke detector is active or not. And then you can pop it down, take it off, and there's where your battery lies. That's where you need to check it and change it. And then you pop that back in, plug back into the wiring harness, and screw it back up there. It is really important to know that these are hardwired into your house, but they use the batteries as backup safety, so make sure you're checking those at least once a year. And also, it is recommended to change them completely every 10 years. If you need any help, you can always give us a call.
Hey everyone, this week's Pinterest hit and miss is a hit and super easy, super affordable, super cute, and so many possibilities. You are going to need some flip-flops, and I found all of mine at one of the dollar places, along with all the other supplies I needed. So if you're wanting to do a hello, you would need to get 3 sets because you need 5, and obviously we'd have an extra one. If you're wanting to do welcome, you would need 4 sets because you need 7 letters. So just always add 1 to an even number, divide. That's what you're doing. You're going to need some cheap rulers. I got these 2 for $1. I used some scrap ribbon that I had, obviously a glue gun. If you have some popsicle sticks, this might be able to give you a little bit more stability in your wreath. And then of course, some stick-on letters, wooden letters. You can paint these whatever you want to do. There's so many possibilities. All right, so I'm doing welcome here. I've already started adhering my flip-flops to this ruler, okay? Super easy. I wanted to make sure, I kind of positioned this to make sure that the kind of odd shoe out color is in the middle. And then I'm gonna do these. Okay, so real quick, let's get this done. Now I will tell you, on the one that you see here with the hello, I actually started with the stick at the bottom of the base just because of the size of shoe. This is a smaller shoe, and that's another tip. Make sure all the flip-flops for the most part are the same size, because this was considered a 9-10, this is considered a 5-6. You see the difference that if these are beside each other, unless that's the look you're going for, and then I say run with it, but I wanted mine to be very symmetrical, so I needed to get all of the same size. All right, so that one's down there. I am using a low temperature on this, so I'm just not having to wait as long for the flip-flops to dry. I'm doing this at a little bit of a slant too. I want a little bit of an arch. Okay, so let that dry really, really quick. Now let's talk about the flowers. Normally I'm like, if you really want this to last, go with really, really high quality flowers. On this one, stick with the dollar places. I'm telling you, these were 2 for $1 and they actually clip on. So perfect. I got the sunglasses there as well. And guys, you don't have to do flowers if you don't want. You don't even have to do the stick-on letters. You can handwrite these, or you could just throw a couple flowers on like I've done here and not even have the hello. It's just cute regardless, and the kids will love this one. Okay, so that is pretty dry. We'll flip that over. Now, what I would advise you to do on this is to reinforce this here. Okay, so I'm gonna put just a little bit of hot glue, and that's where these thick popsicle sticks come in handy. Just giving it a little bit of extra stability, and you could go in and do the same thing here. This is a little bit, where these are foam, they are gonna be able to bend a little bit, so you can do that. Guys, this is so easy. Then all you do, you take your ribbons, tie it to this part of the shoe over here, tie the other one here, tie it, make a bow, add whatever you want. It's super easy. Literally, once you get the hang of it and get your position, five minutes. Well, I'm still fluffing.
Well, and we did too, and she said another one, yeah. So I'm going to make this kind of an easy formula. So since we did 3 leaves, let's do 3 stems. So like a lot of people will say when you do the second one, how do you know to place it? Well, this one, I'm going to do a little formula. We got 3 in a bowl, so we're going to do the stems, and we're going to do each one of the stems under each one of the leaves. And so it goes all the way around. So it really makes it very easy. Again, the power of an odd number, and you're just matching things up. So I'm just going to lift the leaf up, poke them in our styrofoam, and I want to move this out of the way, guys. So he's kind of under that leaf and bring it back down. And look how pretty that is kind of spilling out. So you take yours and poke him under there, and you kind of bend it and shape it. And that's how they're all kind of, it looks like it's just all growing together now. That makes sense?
Gotcha.
And so she's got me another one cut off. We use our handy dandy big wire cutters. Let me take the tag off, no mini pearl. And I'll lift the back leaf up, which you can't see, but I'm lifting it up just like the others and poking it under there. And it kind of looks like it's all one big piece now, really, basically. And I have to admit that I kind of like seeing simple. I look at that and think that's almost an arrangement by itself. It's just a big bowl of magnolia leaves. I love how pretty that is, okay? So let's start filling some of these holes in, and I don't even know what this stuff is. I just like the color of it. Sedum, it's called sedum.
Okay.
And it's that bright green color. So it comes in a bundle, and we're just gonna cut it apart in individual pieces, and we're gonna use this tool, which is called a pick machine. And this pick machine, if you pull the handle, it feeds out, and I'm gonna show you. And I crimp it down, it puts this little spiky thing on there, and it helps poke things down there, like especially individual things, and it pokes it down in there. So most people don't have one of these and don't buy one, because it's a couple $100. But I always say it's like the plumber has the right tool. For me, when we do a lot of things, it's helpful. But you don't even have to have that. You can cut them.
Well, especially if it's not going to be outside.
Especially if it's not, right. You can cut this off without doing this thing. I just use it because when we sell in the store, it makes a little bit. But I'm going to poke him down in there, and we're just going to add those under the bottom and kind of just mix that greenery in. I love that little apple green color. That was me playing with the pick machine. That was
I was like, where did they come from?
Well, you were over there working. I was just showing people the pick machine.
Okay.
So take a couple of the sedums and kind of underneath the bottom of it. I think it'd be kind of pretty. And we're just going to pepper this appley green color in the flower arrangement.
Okay, all right, we'll be working on this. Stay tuned, we'll be back.
Hey, I'm Brittany with Comfort Master Heating and Air, and I'd like to share another tip on how to stay warm and save money this winter. So today we're going to be talking about your duct system. It's a very essential part of your house's efficiency and airflow. So what you want to do is take a look at your ductwork, inspect it for any holes or tears, rips in the insulation. Make sure it is insulated. A lot of older homes were built and they did not insulate anything. So you want to properly seal all your duct, and you want to make sure that it's properly insulated to keep that warm air inside to flow through your house. Another thing to keep in mind is in the winter time, if you have a 2-story house, you want to shut your dampers off to the upstairs, so it pushes more warm air downstairs and recirculates your house a little bit better. All of these come equipped with a manual slide damper. You can just open and close it yourself. If you need any help, you can always give us a call.
Breaking weather and traffic doesn't have to take you by surprise.
With First Alert weather alerts and traffic alerts in the morning, we'll get you where you need to go on time.
We keep this from happening to you.
WKYT, the most weather and traffic updates all morning long.
We've all seen it. A social media post or video where your first thought is that true? Unfortunately, misinformation comes in many forms, but there are tools to help you spot those red flags. That's why WKYT and our corporate company, Gray Television Group, are teaming up with MediaWise, a literary initiative for the nonprofit Pointer Institute. Learn how to navigate through the social media noise and identify factual information. Scan the QR code now to find out more and sign up for daily text messages to become MediaWise.
Past 2 hours.
Watch WKYT News live and on demand, totally free with no subscription. Local news, first alert weather, and original investigations. Stream WKYT for free now. Everyday Kentucky, weekdays at 9 a.m. on WKYT.
All right, thanks for keeping it here on Bluegrass Home Garden TV. If you are just now joining us, Dwayne with House by JSD is with us. We're making a little bit more of a subdued fall arrangement. Not so much of the orange that we have learned in our progress on this show.
There's no phobia. There's no phobia. Don't make me look crazy.
He might have been scarred by the color of
No
orange
scars.
when he was a child.
No, not scarred.
All right, what are we doing now?
So we're adding our next layer, which is this beautiful stemmed magnolia. And I think these are the prices on here. I think, yeah, $6.95.
Oh, wow.
I think that's a pretty
That's
good bargain
a pretty
once
good
it's all
bargain.
said and done. So we finished adding 2 bundles of this limey green sedum for a beautiful texture and color. And next we're going to put this magnolia stem in here. So I'm going to lift him up. Again, you see this little theme of woodsy and hanging out. So you put one, let's turn it around, and you'll do one over in here. You got your cutters? Yep. And so again, we're going to do 3 like we did in the other segments, 3 magnolia leaves, 3 magnolia stems. Now we're going to do 3 magnolia flowers. Again, I'm trying to do this like you're baking something. This is a little formula to this flower arrangement. So ultimately, I feel like flower arrangements are kind of more artsy, but you really can look at it and you can develop little formulas.
Develop
And it's like,
patterns.
so if your mind patterns, like if your mind works differently, like if you're a little more engineer type, I need a formula as opposed to the woo-woo. Well, this is a little more formula, right?
woo-woo.
The woo-woo. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? So we got that. So now I want to take one of these and maybe cut it apart and kind of nestle it down in there.
Okay.
And this is where, the audience, bye.
Hello.
Hello. And she's back. Where I have this tool, because I can cut it apart, and it's a little harder to do this at home, but look what this is able for me to manipulate. So maybe you put one in the middle, kind of coming up. And I see, I'm looking down on it, and I see another hole over in here. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? So ultimately, I probably will do one more little piece of a magnolia over here. But you really can look at this, and this is an everyday flower arrangement,
Oh, yeah,
right?
absolutely.
This is something you use all the time.
But you're going to bring the fall
But I'm going to bring the fall to
it
it.
a little bit.
Exactly. And I love that little trick of how you can use something all the time, but just tweak it a little
Yeah,
bit. And
just
we're going to do
pull
the
it out.
tweak in just a minute.
All right.
Sound good?
Stay tuned.
Hi, Richard Weber here at Springhouse Gardens, talking about another unusual tree that you probably have seen before, but this is a slightly different variety that's very well suited here in central Kentucky. This is a type of black locust. Black locusts are a native Kentucky tree. They grow in all the fence rows and paddocks and pastures around central Kentucky. And they are noted for their beautiful white flowers, very fragrant flowers in late May and into June. But this one is a slightly different variety. It's called Purple Robe. It actually has kind of a pinkish to purple flower panicle that's quite beautiful. It almost looks like a purple wisteria blooming, but it's kind of a reddish purple. But super easy to grow, super hardy. And it is a tree that if you've got an area that you can't get water to and you want a fast growing tree, it's a great tree for kind of out of the way places. Because like other black locusts, it isn't the strongest wooded tree, so you don't want to plant it somewhere on your patio or something like that. But if you wanted a fast, tall growing tree, these are going to get 30, 40 feet tall, and the flower display is spectacular in the spring. So we always carry a few of these because it is a novelty, and it is a native tree that's adapted so well to our area here. It's a great tree for pollinators, and in fact, a lot of bees and pollinating insects are very much attracted to the fragrant flowers. Purple Robe has a typical compound leaf, very similar to the regular black locust. Doesn't get much fall color. The reason you're planting this is for the longevity and the very bright flower display in the spring. So if you're looking for an interesting tree that nobody's going to know what it is, you might entertain Purple Robe black locust. So if you have if you need more information, you can give us a call at Springhouse Gardens at 859-224-1417, or look us up on the web, or follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Until next time.
Well, we are almost out of time, but we're taking what you have put together as pretty much an any time of year arrangement, and now we're putting a little bit of fall into the mix.
Yeah, and again, you're starting to understand why I chose that limey green color and how it picks up on that. But every day, and we're going to take these stems, we're going to cut them apart in a couple of pieces and pick them and pepper them in, and it becomes instant fall by just having a few pieces. And you really can do that on lots of your arrangements at home, that you can kind of tweak them more than what you think. Put my pick on my pick machine. I'm going to lift him up and have him kind of spilling out. And again, one of the things to keep remembering is these stems are wired, and so it's better to kind of shape them and give them a little movement once it's all said and done. Share the wire cutters. Don't be selfish. She's not a good sharer. No, nah, you're a good sharer, aren't you? So where's your next newest hiking adventure? Do you have one lined up?
I did not know where. I did not know where he was going with this. I had no idea. North Carolina.
And what we're going?
Near like Lake Toxway, the Brevard area. Lots of waterfalls.
Beautiful.
I will be avoiding the Blue Ridge Parkway. No offense to Blue Ridge Parkway this time of year, but everybody
crowded?
is there for the fall color.
Yeah.
I want the waterfalls.
Yeah, wow.
I'll get the fall color.
You've taken us on some beautiful places. I honestly didn't realize.
There's a ton.
There's more out there I could ever imagine.
You don't have to go super far.
Yeah, that's got, what, the most couple hours?
Well, I mean,
6 hours? Yeah.
that area is probably about 4 to 5, depending on where you live in Kentucky. But I mean, still, definitely worth it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, that is great. I love that.
Isn't that beautiful?
Very subdued, but very fall.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that it'd be super easy just to pull this out, then maybe add some berries in for the holidays or something.
That's it. Take the pumpkins out and you add some the white pine picks and cedar we sell and some red holly.
Yes.
If you do this core arrangement that we started with initially, this is year round, and you add every season to it easily. And I, in particular, love these picks that we found this year that add this little green touch to it.
Well, they can buy a lot of these products online and make their own.
Yes, absolutely.
Especially the magnolia.
The magnolia, and I know that this white magnolia is, I assume this, what is that, pumpkin pick is on there. I can't tell you that for sure, but if not, you can always reach the store at, here's the segue, 859-523, that's pretty good, 3933, or you can go online and find everything at housebyjsd.com and come and find us. And we do truly are appreciative of all the people that follow us and how kind you've been to us and say they see the show, so appreciative.
All right, we'll see you next time.